Hi, welcome back to Jenny Kern Astrology. If life suddenly feels like it's asking you to let go of something you once relied on, you're not imagining it. Because this is not just a full moon. This is a south node lunar eclipse in Virgo. It's a karmic cleansing point, a moment where the universe removes what has quietly expired so your soul can move forward, lighter. Eclipses don't add, they subtract. And Virgo removes what is inefficient, misaligned, or no longer sacred to your rhythms of daily life. Virgo sees the sacred pattern in everything. This full moon, south node, lunar eclipse in Virgo is trying to show you where you are out of balance. Virgo is about God consciousness, having a code of ethics that you live by. And integrity means that you have a set of values that you've integrated through your actions, your behavior, your habits. You are what you repeatedly do. These habits define your character and make you who you are. Having integrity means to honor that code, no matter what others say, no matter what temptations cross your path. Someone from your past with strong Virgo energy, possibly a past life connection, may resurface. So this eclipse asks a powerful question. What pattern have you perfected that your soul has already outgrown? Lunar eclipses always coincide with full moons, moments of culmination, harvest, and emotional release or revelation. But when the south node of karmic fate and destiny is involved, we enter karmic territory. The south node represents past patterns, mastery that has become limitation, habits formed out of survival rather than evolution. Virgo energy seeks order, efficiency, optimization, and devotion through service. At its highest expression, Virgo is the sacred priestess of embodiment, tending to the temple of life through ritual and self-care. In shadow, Virgo becomes over-analysis, analysis paralysis, perfectionism, anxiety disguised as productivity, fixing everything except what truly matters. So this eclipse releases the illusion that control means safety, because opposite Virgo sits Pisces and the north node of fate and destiny. The north node of fate and destiny in Pisces reminds us that healing happens when we surrender control to belief in a higher power, to faith in divine timing, not when we optimize endlessly. In Greek mythology, Virgo is linked to Astraea, the last immortal to leave Earth during humanity's moral decline. She did not abandon humanity out of judgment. She withdrew because purity cannot exist where truth is abandoned. This eclipse mirrors Astraea's departure. Something leaves your life now, not as punishment, but as restoration of sacred order. You are not losing stability. You are reclaiming integrity. There are three major forces shaping this eclipse. The conjunction to the south node of karmic fate and destiny in Virgo, bringing karmic release through whichever house is activated in your chart. Uranus and Taurus square Mars in Aquarius, sudden disruption, awakening, nervous system activation, all catalyzing change. And Saturn and Neptune aligned in Aries, the birth of a new identity timeline. Spiritual vision becomes embodied action. You can expect themes around health routines changing suddenly, work structures dissolving, emotional burnout becoming undeniable, releasing roles built on obligation rather than purpose, and redefining service versus self-abandonment. Virgo rules the daily rhythms of life, so this eclipse recalibrates how you spend your energy, who receives your labor, what deserves your devotion. You may experience fatigue, emotional clarity, sudden endings, a deep desire to simplify. This is energetic detox, not collapse, but purification. Here's a practical ritual for how to work with the energy of this eclipse. Virgo responds to intentional action. So write down and list what habits or obligations are currently draining your energy. Thank them for what they taught you. Tear or burn the paper and clean the physical space afterward. Get rid of it. Physical cleansing anchors energetic release. Horoscopes by rising sign. You can listen for your rising sign, sun sign, moon sign, Venus sign, and any stelliums or concentrations of energy. Aries rising. This Virgo eclipse is in your 6th house, rewiring the meaning of work, health, and devotion. This South Node lunar eclipse releases survival-based productivity patterns. You may suddenly realize how much of your daily life has been structured around proving competence rather than honoring vitality. The Uranus and Taurus square Mars in Aquarius activates tension between your long-term goals and your physical capacity. A group, collaboration, or future vision may demand change faster than your body can sustain. Burnout becomes revelation. Meanwhile, Saturn and Neptune aligning in Aries in your 1st house initiates a new identity cycle. But first, space must be cleared. You are learning. Discipline must serve vision, not exhaustion. You can expect shifts involving work responsibilities ending or restructuring, health wake-up calls, and redefining service versus sacrifice. You're building a lifestyle aligned with who you are becoming, not who you've had to be. Nine of Pentacles. Establishing stable foundations. Taurus rising. This Virgo South Node lunar eclipse happens in your 5th house. Liberation from performance-based love. This eclipse releases creative or romantic patterns tied to earning approval. You may recognize where joy became obligation. With Uranus and Taurus in your 1st house, squaring Mars and Aquarius at the top of your chart in the 10th house, sudden career or visibility changes push you into greater authenticity. You cannot maintain a public role that suppresses self-expression anymore. The Saturn-Neptune alignment in Aries activates your subconscious sector, your 12th house, dissolving old fears around being seen. Creative rebirth requires emotional risk-taking. Themes include redefining romance, releasing validation-seeking creativity, reconnecting with pleasure without expectation of outcome. Joy becomes medicine rather than achievement. The Knight of Cups in reverse. Overcoming player tendencies, the return of a player from the past. Gemini rising. This eclipse happens in your 4th house, bringing ancestral closure and emotional restructuring. The South Node lunar eclipse here releases inherited emotional roles. You may recognize patterns that were learned in childhood around responsibility, worry, or emotional hypervigilance. The Uranus-Mars square shakes your belief systems. A truth disrupts your worldview or your future plans. Meanwhile, Saturn and Neptune aligning in Aries begins forming a new community path aligned with your authentic vision. Home is no longer a place you earn through caretaking. Possible manifestations include moving or home changes, healing family dynamics, emotional boundaries, strengthening. You are learning safety inside yourself. 7 of Pentacles, possibly reversed. You've planted a lot of seeds. It's time to focus on perhaps one of those seeds. Gemini, we tend to juggle too many things, have too many pots on the stove. So it's time to allow one or two of those seeds to take root so that we're not spread too thin. Cancer rising. This South Node lunar eclipse in Virgo activates your third house, bringing mental detox and voice recalibration. Virgo here reveals overthinking patterns you developed early in life to maintain control. The eclipse releases anxious cognition and narratives rooted in past survival patterns. The Uranus-Mars square activates financial and emotional entanglements. Conversations catalyze sudden transformation. Saturn and Neptune aligned in Aries reshapes your public path, asking you to speak with authority grounded in authenticity. You are shedding the need to explain yourself endlessly. Anticipate communication turning points, ending draining conversations, new ways of teaching or sharing knowledge. Your voice becomes intentional rather than reactive. Three of Pentacles. Where can we be more of a team player? This was in reverse. Where can we work together? Leo rising. This Virgo full moon lunar eclipse happens in your second house, redefining your self-worth beyond your productivity. This eclipse clears outdated financial habits and self-worth structures. You may release income streams tied to overextending yourself. The Uranus-Mars square brings relationship unpredictability. Others may change, forcing you to redefine stability internally. Saturn and Neptune in Aries ignites a new philosophical direction and a long-term vision. Security shifts from control to trust in yourself. Themes include financial restructuring, value realignment, releasing a scarcity mindset, and learning to stop earning love through labor or acts of service. Ace of Wands in reverse. There's a creative new spark once you shed these patterns. Free yourself for greater joy. Creating from the heart, not from approval, external validation, etc. Shut through the heart and you're too late. Darling, you give love a bad name. Virgo rising. This South Node lunar eclipse in Virgo is happening in your first house. Identity shedding and karmic completion. This is one of your most pivotal personal resets in nearly 2 decades. The South Node eclipse removes identities built around fixing, managing, and perfecting life. You may feel emotionally raw, yet deeply clear. Uranus square Mars activates sudden changes in work and health rhythms. Your body refuses outdated expectations. Saturn Neptune aligned in Aries begins a profound rebirth through intimacy and energetic merging. You're learning. You are not responsible for holding everything together. Physical appearance, direction, or personal priorities may shift rapidly. You are emerging lighter, simplified, and more authentic. More authentically. The Chariot. Change is coming in fast for you, Virgo. It's time to let go of the masks. The masks of perfection that you like to wear. Balancing yin and yang. Message coming in quickly. Fast incoming change. The Chariot, a major arcana for you. Libra rising. This South Node lunar eclipse in Virgo is happening in your 12th house, delivering spiritual purification and karmic closure or completion. This eclipse dissolves subconscious patterning and energetic attachments. Old grief surfaces to leave for good. The Uranus-Mars square shakes creative or romantic dynamics, awakening desires that you've long suppressed. Saturn and Neptune in Aries initiates a new relationship era, but first, emotional clearing must occur. You are exiting a soul chapter quietly. Expect vivid dreams, a need for solitude, endings happening behind the scenes. Rest becomes sacred preparation. The Two of Swords in reverse. What aren't you seeing? Blindfolded. There's a lot of chatter here. The crows symbolizing transformation. They're in flight, delivering conflicting messages, perhaps. Don't overthink things. Virgo in the 12th house. I'm a Libra rising. I get it. I've had to leave those perfectionistic, overthinking, analysis paralysis, anxious patterns in the past. Some sort of fork in the road, a choice, and the blindfold here symbolizes faith, trust. So leave it with God, whatever you deem that to be. Surrender control. Scorpio rising. This South Node lunar eclipse in Virgo happens in your 11th house, changing your tribe and your future timeline. You're releasing communities or goals that are tied to outdated versions of yourself. The Uranus-Mars square creates tension between home life and external expression. Sudden domestic changes influence your friendship or your aspirations. Saturn and Neptune aligned in Aries begin restructuring daily routines that are aligned with greater purpose. You no longer belong where authenticity must be abandoned. New alliances form after you have the courage to release them. Release old ones. 5 of Wands. There may be some conflict or competition, and that's not necessarily a negative thing. This is Leo energy, fire energy. Sometimes conflict is necessary so we can get to the bottom of things, and sometimes competition helps bring out our best effort, but make sure it's aligned with integrity. Sagittarius rising. This South Node lunar eclipse in Virgo happens in your 10th house. Public destiny recalibrates. A career identity culminates for you. Recognition or endings redirect your path toward deeper meaning. The Uranus-Mars square activates communication and contracts. Sudden announcements or decisions alter your career trajectory. Saturn and Neptune aligned in Aries awakens a creative calling and heart-led leadership. You're moving from ambition to a vocation. Legacy now requires greater authenticity. The Wheel. Your energy's in this card. The Wheel of Fortune. It's all happening for your betterment. Trust. Tree pose, grounded. The lucky dice. You're one of the luckiest signs, Sagittarius. Eyes are closed. Look how joyful she is. All the elements are balanced. That Wheel of Fortune or fate playing out for you. Capricorn rising. This South Node lunar eclipse in Virgo happens in your 9th house, bringing a belief system evolution. You release rigid philosophies or expectations about the future. The Uranus-Mars square brings financial unpredictability that forces new perspectives on security. Saturn and Neptune aligned in Aries restructures your emotional foundation and living environment. Truth becomes lived experience rather than intellectual certainty. A new spiritual framework begins. Temperance in reverse. So there's a need to balance the yin and the yang, the masculine and feminine forces within. Temperance, this is Sagittarius's card. So as a Capricorn rising, you have Sagittarius in the 12th house, your deep subconscious reprogramming. So you're letting go of some patterns. It's in reverse. Where can you bring in better balance? What do you need to let go of to attain that balance? Aquarius rising. This South Node lunar eclipse happens in your 8th house, delivering deep karmic release and emotional liberation. The South Node here purges entanglements rooted in obligation or survival bonding, trauma bonding. Uranus in Taurus, square Mars in Aquarius in your sign, creates identity shocks and possibly an identity crisis. Sudden decisions redefine who you are. Saturn and Neptune aligned in Aries reshapes how you communicate and assert yourself. You're learning vulnerability without self-abandonment. Themes include releasing energetic cords, financial or shared resource shifts, and psychological breakthroughs. Transformation becomes choice, not crisis. The Knight of Cups in reverse. Someone else had this. I think it was Taurus. Oof, I'm getting emotional avoidance. I missed that for Taurus. So Aquarius, Taurus, you're both fixed signs, likely highly activated by this square between Mars and Aquarius and Uranus and Taurus. What emotional avoidance patterns do you need to leave behind? Is there anyone you need to send an apology to for ghosting? See the wings on the shoes here? Comes in hot and heavy. He love bombs and then he poof disappears. So yeah, we're leaving this behind as we mature. This is my emotional avoidant card. Taurus, Aquarius, fixed signs, Leo, Scorpio. That is the Scorpio card. Looking at you. Intensity can be scary, I get it. But ghosting is not okay. Pisces rising. This South Node lunar eclipse is happening in your 7th house of one-to-one partnerships. Relationship karma experiences a turning point. Partnership patterns reach culmination. You release dynamics where you over-served or overextended or over-adapted. The Uranus-Mars square activates subconscious triggers. Hidden truths emerge quickly. Saturn and Neptune aligned in Aries begins building new self-worth foundations. Relationships must now reflect equality and grounded reality. Love becomes mutual presence rather than self-sacrifice. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. So this is something we need to work on. Pisces, a little too much focus here. We're balancing head and heart under this full moon lunar eclipse. Little too much focus here on the woo-sa, woo-woo spiritual side of things. I get it, Pisces. Where can you tap into more grounded logic under this Virgo full moon lunar eclipse? This eclipse doesn't ask us to become better versions of ourselves. It asks us to become truer ones. Message for the collective. The Magician. The Magician uses all of the elements at its disposal. This is Virgo and Gemini energy. The infinity symbol on the hood. The infinity symbol here with what it's conjuring. Remember that words are spells, words are magic. We have Mercury retrograde in Pisces, just aligned with Venus, and it's with the North Node of Fate and Destiny, and the Sun with this full moon lunar eclipse, so it's very important. Be careful what you say. Words are spells. What we say can come back to bite us through that karmic loop. I try my best to not engage in gossip. I try to only say factual things, things I would say to the person themselves, so that if it did get back to them, they wouldn't be offended. It's something I've already said. And I try to only say uplifting things. Words are spells. What we think, what we say, very much can and will manifest in our reality. This eclipse reminds us that healing is not about becoming perfect. Healing is about being honest and vulnerable. May whatever leaves us now do so gently. May what remains be only what's essential. May your life become simpler, clearer, and ever more sacred. Because Virgo teaches us the divine lives in the details, but only the ones aligned with our soul. If this resonated, comment your rising sign and what you're releasing under this eclipse. Subscribe for upcoming eclipse and lunation guidance, and I'll see you at the next cosmic turning point. Fork in the road, Two of Swords in reverse. Trust. Live and let God. Whatever you deem that to be. Thank you for watching. If you're still with me, you're a real one. Drop your current most used emoji in the comments. If you took anything away from this video, we ask that you like, comment, share the content, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, we know that you'll enjoy the full playlist and this additional video. Thank you so much. Love you, and see you soon.